Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Welcome to your November 2022 horoscope. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be covering all of the major transits for the month ahead, and I'll be using tropical astrology and the whole sign system. So you can watch this horoscope if you are a Taurus rising, otherwise known as ascendant, a Taurus sun, like myself, or a Taurus moon. Generally speaking, I would say that the rising sign horoscope will be the most accurate for you overall, but of course, some people identify more with their sun or their moon. It just depends on you personally speaking. So let's start off by looking at Mars being retrograde in Gemini. So first of all, Mars will station retrograde in the sign of Gemini on the 30th or the 31st of October, depending where you live in the world. Mars will be retrograde for all of November, all of December, and it will station direct once again on the 12th of January in 2023. So as Taurians, Mars will be retrograde in your second house, and Mars only goes retrograde once every couple of years. So essentially, when Mars is retrograde, this indicates that we can experience challenges or hiccups when it comes to whichever house it is in. And we can also be putting a lot of extra energy and effort into these matters. So with Mars retrograde in your second house, it's all about your finances, your valuables, your possessions, as well as your values and sense of self-worth. So Mars retrograde here can see you refinancing or rebudgeting or just reassessing how you spend money. So you could be doing a deep dive into learning about money management and how to generate other streams of income. Now, when Mars is in your second house, let alone when it is retrograde, this can see us spending a lot more money than usual. So Mars first entered Gemini on the 20th of August. You may find that since that period of time, or since then, you've spent a lot more money than normal. As a Taurus sun, I can vouch for this statement. For me, I spent a lot of money when I traveled to Greece, which is why I wasn't here for the October horoscopes. So it doesn't need to be a travel trip, although with Mars ruling over your 12th house, it certainly could be. For one reason or another, this could see you just, bleeding cash. So that doesn't mean that you're going to drain your bank accounts or anything like that. It just means that there's more expenses than normal. Now, on a different level, some of you may just be looking at how you spend money, and if you had a budget system in place, this can see you making some significant changes to that. You may have set some challenges or goals for yourself when it comes to how much you are spending in certain areas or how much you are saving. Maybe you've set goals or targets for yourself to achieve, which are quite ambitious when it comes to making money. Now, for some of you, you may actually putting one of your streams of income on pause when it comes to how you make money in order to work on generating new streams of income. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one, but as I was writing some notes for this horoscope, I have some goals in mind that I want to achieve, which are connected to generating a new stream of income and something to do with my business and new services that I'm offering. And I realized that I might need to dial it back when it comes to my private readings in order to carry this out. So I can see this playing out for myself as a Taurus sun. So if you're a Taurus sun or a Taurus rising, more so than moon, that could be something that you're needing to prioritize, because it's all about setting goals and targets, which is Mars, and working really hard to achieve these. But then obviously this could have a flow-on effect. Now, The second house is connected to your valuables and your possessions. And we've got Mars ruling over your seventh house, which is connected to sales. And Mars is in Gemini anyway, which is also sales. So this could see you going through the arduous task of, cataloging your valuables and possessions and assessing their value, which is the second house, and then selling them off. Or maybe you're going through a trade, trading one thing with someone for, something else. So you may feel like you are forced into having to sell off certain valuables or possessions. I'm not going to lie, Mars retrograde is uncomfy. Okay, this is not, no planet really likes to be retrograde, especially not Mars, because Mars is about being direct, achieving our goals, our targets, and just going headfirst into whatever it is that we want to do. And then the retrograde is like, think about you trying to run and then you've got someone holding you around the middle and you're like, not going anywhere, or you're not going anywhere quickly, or you're having to put a lot more effort into wherever you want to go. This could feel like running underwater, so to speak. So you're not going to be able to achieve your financial objectives as quickly as you would like. And let me just be clear, if you have a time frame in mind for how long something is going to take, it will take longer, guaranteed. Okay, so obviously it's a general reading, hard to give guarantees, but that's as close to one as I'm going to get. So the second house is connected to diet, food, as well as anything that we are putting in the mouth, smoking, biting nails. Mars retrograde here can see you trying really hard to quit smoking. It can see you trying really hard to stop biting your nails. This can see you putting in a lot of extra energy and effort to stick to a diet. And, I'm not talking about a juice diet or whatever. I mean, whatever health eating habits you want to implement and stick to. This can see you feeling quite challenged in that department. So let me just say that, if you are someone who had quit smoking or had stopped biting your nails, this is when things are going to push you to the edge of feeling like you want to do that again. So you may want to put provisions in place to help you not do that. Now, I just want to say that you can overcome these challenges. The Mars retrograde will be from the end of October till the 12th of January. This is the bookend period of time of when it's the most difficult. The majority of your effort is going to be put, or you're going to have to harness your efforts during this period of time, and then things can get easier for the rest of the Mars in Gemini transit, which is from the 12th of January through till the end of March in 2023. And you can achieve a goal. You can achieve a financial objective. You can come out the other side and have started, have generated a new stream of income. And that's certainly my plan as a Taurus sun. I've got something that I've had in mind for literally the whole year. This was my goal going into 2022. I was like, I'm going to start teaching. Okay, I'm just going to tell you guys what my plan is. And I'm like, okay, I better bloody start this by the time I get to 2023. So this can see you having to concentrate your energy, your focus, your attention onto financial matters, valuables, possessions, your material worth, material security, diet, etc. And lastly, the second house is your sense of values. It's taste. Okay, it's Taurus. So these are the, as in the second house is connected to Taurian matters. So there is some overlap here. So the second house is, with Mars in the second house retrograde, this is you developing your sense of self-worth. Maybe this is about reprogramming certain thought patterns, which is Gemini, when it comes to money, earning capability, material security, not feeling like that is threatened, or not being triggered by potential threats to material security, which is obviously very important for Taurians, again, myself included. So moving along to the 8th of November, this is when we are going to have a total lunar eclipse in Taurus at 16 degrees. So without a shadow of a doubt, the signs that are going to be the most impacted by the eclipse that we have in November, which is Taurus, and the eclipse that we have on the 25th of October, which is Scorpio, are Taurians and Scorpios. So full moon eclipses are about a chapter coming to a close or a situation reaching its peak. Full moon eclipses can be quite psychological in nature. Nevertheless, this eclipse has a lot going on. Okay, we've got it being conjunct, nearly exactly conjunct, I might add, Uranus, and it is also going to be opposite Mercury and Venus, Venus being the planet that rules you. So when eclipses occur in the first, well, across the first and seventh house axes, so Scorpio in October, Taurus in November, this is all about the self, the direction that we are going in, what we're physically doing in our lives, our appearance, our path that we're walking, but then also relationships. Okay, so this will have an impact on relationships because Venus, which is the planet that rules you, is in the seventh house. And again, we've got Mercury and Venus there, conjunct the Sun in Scorpio during the eclipse. For some of you, this could be the parting of ways in a certain relationship. Now, again, this is a general reading, but just to go through what this can mean: friendships, business relationships, business contracts, okay, clients, people that you do business with, and also romantic relationships. Now, I definitely don't want to freak you guys out because, this is a general reading. I'm not looking at your personal charts. I'm a Taurus as well. If you're in a relationship and you're happy, there's no issues, good for you. This is probably not that. I'm married. I'm not worried about that with this eclipse, okay? So with this total lunar eclipse being conjunct Uranus, it's a sudden download or epiphany. It's a sudden change. You will not have to wonder, oh, what's this eclipse event that's happening in my life? It will make itself known and you'll be like, oh, it's that work opportunity. Oh, I don't want to be friends with this person. Oh, I want to quit my job. I want to, work for myself, or I want to go and do this crazy, wacky thing, or change my appearance or whatever. So with the eclipses, this will have a very personal impact on you as a Taurus. If you're a Taurus rising, this can be your physical appearance, how you want to present yourself, how you identify, because Uranus rules over your 10th house, okay, which is the top of your chart. So that's if you're a Taurus rising, and this could be connected to career because Uranus rules over your 10th house. So there could be an unexpected opportunity, whether this is you quitting one job to walk into a new job. You could just get to work or just be like, stuff it, I'm out of here. Resignation submitted, okay? Because the total lunar eclipse is in Taurus and it's conjunct Uranus. This is your shocking behavior. This is you making these changes, or experiencing these changes. They're happening to you, but then you can be shocking other people. You could be delivering information to someone where, the eclipse event is you participated in it, but then that person is like, oh my God. So if you're a Taurus sun like me, this could very well be connected to your career and to your creative talents, gifts, natural intelligence, which is the sun. So this could see you finishing up a creative project, launching that into the world. This could see you walking away from your job, starting a new business. This could see you launching something new that you've been working on, because it's a full moon eclipse, we're reaching, completion, and then you're releasing this out into the world. For me personally, this is probably going to tie in my 2023 yearly horoscopes. They're not out yet. So, I am working on these. I've finished the filming, but I'm still in the editing process. So this is going to come out around the time of the eclipse. My goal is certainly for these to be out before the eclipse, but I just wanted to give you an example of the fact that something that you've been working on, whether you are a Taurus sun or Taurus rising, could be released, could be ready for launch or for release, like I said. If you're a Taurus moon, this is more on the relationship side of things. Okay, we've got your relationship axes being implicated in this eclipse, because Mercury and Venus are in Scorpio in your 7th house, but then the moon, our moon sign, is connected to relationships. So this is where we can see there being, on one hand, a breakdown in a relationship, okay, whether this is with a family member, with a loved one, or with a friend. This is less about work. But having said that, this could be a new relationship, and then you're announcing it. Okay, with this total eclipse being conjunct Uranus, maybe it's shocking. Maybe, you guys are from very, very different walks of life. And for you, you're like, hey, I love this person. That's cool. And other people like, wow, I wouldn't have expected you to be in a relationship with this person. Maybe there's an age gap. That I don't care. There's an age gap between me and my husband. Do whatever floats your boat, guys. So if you're a Taurus rising or a Taurus moon, this could be connected to property and living circumstances. And I'm saying this because we've got the sun, of course, being involved in a full moon eclipse. The sun rules over your 4th house, okay, which is property. The moon, if you're Taurus moon, that's already property. So this could see your property circumstances or your living circumstances suddenly changing. Oh, I found a property. Boom, I'm buying it. Maybe you're doing this quickly. Maybe you weren't planning on selling your property, but someone comes and knocks on your door, offers you a very good price, and you're like, all right, I'm selling my property. Or maybe you're moving to somewhere you haven't lived before, and maybe this is a very sudden decision. So obviously there's so many possibilities when it comes to how this can play out, but those are just a few ideas. If you want to get a very well-rounded idea of how this eclipse can play out, I highly recommend that you watch your sun, moon, and rising sign horoscope. So on the 16th of November, Venus is going to enter the sign of Sagittarius, and it will be there till the 10th of December. So Venus will be transiting your 8th house for this period of time. Because Venus is the planet that rules you, wherever Venus goes, whatever Venus is doing, this is you, literally. This is you. This is where you're placing your energy, your attention. This is where, this is the focal point for you and your life personally, while your chart ruler is there. So Venus in your 8th house can see there being a big focus on intimacy, emotional vulnerabilities, being vulnerable with another person, sex life as well. A new intimate relationship could start. There could be more sexual activity for you than you are used to, or maybe you're exploring your sexuality in a way that you have not before. And for some of you, you could be really interested in occult topics, taboo topics. You could be paying for a reading of an occult kind. So this could be an astrology reading, tarot. This could be something to do with hypnosis. This could be, a psychic mediumship reading, etc. The 8th house is connected to psychology and psychiatry. So some of you could be engaging the services of a psychologist or a therapist or a psychiatrist. On a different level, the eighth house is connected to investments and taxes. So with Venus, Venus, just generally speaking, represents things going well, something going right, generally speaking. So this is like, you're enjoying astrology or tarot, or you're enjoying your sexual relationship with another person, or exploring this for yourself. So when it comes to taxes and investments, this could see you receiving a tax return. Hopefully this is me. I need to lodge my taxes. Unless Venus is making some hard aspects, this could be going well for you. Okay, so you could be investing in a joint asset with another person, or the stock market. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying what you could be focusing on during this period of time. And for some of you, you could be benefiting from your mutual resources with another person. You've got access to their resources. Maybe someone is giving you money, helping you out financially speaking. You could even just be receiving emotional support from another person. And on a different note, Venus in the eighth house, and Venus being your chart ruler, could see you being quite secretive during this time, quite private. And lastly, Venus rules over your sixth house, which is connected to work, and it is connected to health. So the eighth house is connected to sudden change and sudden reversals. So this can see you experiencing healing, okay, a turnaround in your health status, or something to do with a health matter. And the situation could turn around quite suddenly, because the eighth house is sudden reversals and sudden change. So it could be sudden healing, unexpectedly, even through alternative medicine or mystical means. Now, again, this is a general reading, but just to note that this could be a time where health issues do crop up unexpectedly. And I don't want to freak you guys out. I'm a Taurus, as I've mentioned several times. I'm not concerned about Venus being in the eighth house. This is just like, you're focused on these areas. You're interested in learning about mutual resources, exploring your sexuality, anything to do with the occult, taboo topics, and things like this. So with work, this could see there being a sudden change in your work situation. And obviously, we're coming off the back of an eclipse. So this could be you employing someone new, having to get rid of someone that you've employed or hired to do a job. And you could be taken off a work project, put on a new work project. You could just be pursuing something new with work, or make a decision with respect to your work, which, it's like, oh, I've just had this idea and now I'm acting on it. Now, let's have a look at Mars in Gemini, which is retrograde in your second house, squaring Neptune in Pisces in your 11th house at 22 degrees. We experienced this transit on the 12th of October, and we will experience it again in March, okay, on the 14th of March. Okay, first, let me just be clear. Generally speaking, this is a challenging aspect. I don't want to sugarcoat that. I do not want to be accused of, putting this in rose-colored glasses. So squares, just naturally speaking, have this challenging energy to them, okay? So nevertheless, a way that you can positively harness this energy is that you may be willing to give of your resources to a group or community. Okay, Mars in your second house, it's like, all right, I'm taking action when it comes to my money or my valuables or my possessions. Neptune in the 11th house is, charity and generosity within a large group or a community or your wider network. So this can see you, taking from your own pool of resources to benefit someone else, even if this is, not coming at a great time for you. Now, you could be taking a risk, all right, trying something new, which would be Mars, when it comes to what you're communicating, which is Gemini, with respect to your values, which is the second house. So you could be, putting this forth to your community, to your wider network, to your audience or the collective somehow, which is the 11th house. This can see you spending money, spending big, taking a risk when it comes to your long-term goals and dreams. Maybe you're unsure about this, but you're like, damn it, I'm going to do it anyway. This could see you accepting help from a benefactor or collaborating with someone else, which would be seen from the 11th house activity, and maybe you're not too sure about them, which is Neptune. Maybe there's some mystery that shrouds this person, or there's, a bit of confusion about what am I really agreeing to here, but this could have a huge payoff. So I'm going to take that risk. Okay, this is the highest, and best possible manifestations for this transit, some of them. Negative ramifications could be losing money in an investment, getting scammed on the internet out of your money, having to stretch yourself really thin to support a friend or maybe an older sibling, which is the 11th house, or your wider network, your audience somehow. And this could see you maybe not being financially able to afford pursuing a long-term goal or dream of yours. So maybe you're actually having to give up and sacrifice, which would be Neptune, your goal or a dream of yours, which is the 11th house, due to financial reasons, which is Mars retrograde in the second house. So, you could be disagreeing with friends or people in your wider network, or if, let's say you're a YouTuber like myself with your audience, about your values, which is the second house. So this could lead to a decrease in your network, whether this is friends, people who you associate with, acquaintances, or again, followers. And for some of you, there could be some issues with rent money or a passive form of income. So these are the most obvious to me as an astrologer ways that this can play out. I'm sure that there's many that I haven't mentioned, but again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not all of this will apply to you. And to be honest, if you wanted to harness the energy of this transit and try to, circumvent the potential negative consequences or energy that can come through with it, I would recommend that you maybe donate to charity, help out a friend, give back to your wider network or audience. Now, on a different level, maybe you just want to help someone out with your resources, valuables, possessions. Honestly, if you've got a pretty dress or garment or piece of jewelry, don't really use it anymore, give it away, give it to a friend. That would be Mars square Neptune. Okay, so lastly, let us have a look at the new moon in Sagittarius on the 23rd of November or the 24th, depending where you live in the world. And this will be in your 8th house. Incidentally, a few minutes after the new moon, Jupiter will station direct in Pisces in your 11th house. So Jupiter's stationing direct at this time. Jupiter's the ruler of the new moon. New moons indicate a new chapter or something new that we're starting. We're planting the seed. So I just want to share with you a quote that I heard. I don't know who said it, sorry. If you know, comment down below. The day that you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit. Okay, so whatever new chapter you're starting at any new moon, this is not when you reap the rewards or the benefits. Nevertheless, the 8th house, as I mentioned, with Venus being in the 8th house, is about occult subjects and topics, deep research, intimacy, vulnerability, addictions, fears as well, mutual resources, taxes, wills, inheritances, insurances, etc. So you may be starting something new when it comes to these areas. You may be drawing up a will for yourself. You may be initiating the process for, maybe you've been told you receive an inheritance. So that's planting of the seed, but now you're going through the process of what comes next? How do I go about receiving it? And this could have a 1 month cycle, which is a lunar cycle, 29 days, a 6 month cycle, because that's the next full moon in Sagittarius, or 18 months, which would be the following full moon in Sagittarius. So for some of you, you could be working on overcoming a fear, working on overcoming an addiction, and this new moon will actually be conjunct Venus and Mercury. So it's having a very tangible impact on you. This can see you starting up a new intimate relationship with another person, a new sexual relationship. And for some of you, this can see you starting to go and see a psychologist, therapist, a psychiatrist, or you could be forming a new interest in something occult or spiritual, something taboo though, which is the 8th house. So maybe it's astrology, tarot, hypnosis, mediumship, etc. There's so many different ways that the umbrella term occult can play out when it comes to this new moon in Sagittarius for you. I see this as exciting. Because of this conjunction to Mercury and Venus. It's sort of like a new passion, because it's Venus. You're interested in this, you want to learn about this, so you're just like, oh, I'm so engrossed in the subject or in this intimate relationship, or I really want to try hard to work with my psychologist or work to overcome my fears. So again, that's the 23rd/24th of November, depending where you live in the world. And so Taurus, that's all I have for you for November 2022. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give the video a thumbs up. If you want to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Enjoy your month ahead, Taurus, and I will see you guys in December.